Hi guys, TinaGale here, and I'm back with another layout with the RTS 4for4 series that Janet is sharing over on her channel. All of the links will be down below so that you can see her playlist, and I have participated before, and so my playlist is listed down below too for all the different 4for4 series and my layouts that I've created. So this is the third one that I'm sharing, but it's actually the cuts from layout number 1 if you're following along with Janet's cuts and instructions. So I'm sorry for any confusion that might have for you. I don't know. I didn't even notice it until later that I had messed up the cuts when I was loading up the first layout. But this is my third layout, layout number 1 from Janet. So we basically had two pieces of paper that was 6 by 12, and the basic design I think follows pretty close to what I remember hers were. I cut it down a little bit with the width and the length so that I could fit it off to the left hand side of the page, and I'm pretty sure that's what she did too. And she did these awesome little cuts and circles, and I think scallop circles and things like that down the right hand side. So you'll see how I kind of interpreted that as well. But I only had one photo to work with today, and it's a 4 by 6. And so I didn't want it going like all the way across the page. I really just wanted to kind of narrow the papers up. So I've used all of the papers that we had cut for this, and then I had a branding strip and some different pieces like that. So I don't really remember how many small strips we had, but this is what we could use plus whatever I had over there that was branding strips, because I had a bunch of those pulled out. And I just kind of played around. I wanted the floral breaking up, that busy print up at the top with the clothesline of the little dresses. And I have, see, you can see all the other border strips I have over here too. I have some trim that I'm going to get put onto this layout that I've had forever. It was some in my mom's stash, probably from when I was little. I don't know. It's been around there forever. And I'm actually going to make it on this layout, so I'm really excited about that. So you can tell this piece here, this that I scalloped punch, is kind of pieced together. Those were some small pieces that I had left over from, I believe, layout 2. They were like 1 by 4 pieces. I just taped them together with some washi tape and ran it through my scalloped punch. It's the dotted scalloped punch from EK Success. I love it. It's one of my favorite ones. Stays out on my desk. Punched it, and then just used some of the smaller branding strips that I had to create a border over here on the right hand side. And then I'm going to create a little cluster up at the top, and I had a little scrap of the washi tape that was the black with the pink roses that I've kind of played around with in my other layouts, and I'm going to use it up at the top. And then I had brads pulled out, and I wanted so bad to get them on this layout, and I made it. I actually got 3 big brads. So I love that Janet has got me out of just, you know, collecting, storing my brads, but actually getting them onto layouts. So here's that trim I was talking about. And like I said, it is really, really old, but it's pink and it's scalloped, and I thought it would be perfect for this layout. So I'm just kind of looking here to see whether I want it over what I had and maybe not have so many different colors, because I have a pink and a yellow and then another pink. You know, did I want that? Did I want to take that yellow out? But I decide I love it all, so it's going to stay there, and I'm going to put it right there. And you can see one of the brads up at the left there of the photo is that little pink gingham, and I love it. And I had one that was yellow and another one that was white with pink words that says "Be Happy." So I thought that was kind of perfect because I am just screaming my head off. And then I had the little puffy sticker. It's a Maggie Holmes puffy sticker that was in the pink gingham. So, you know, it's a whole different collection than that pink gingham brad, but because I had things just with pink, I found them together and was able to put them together on this layout. So I love when that happens. So I'm just going to put all of this down, and you can see the start of my title up here. I had, I kind of went back and forth. What you see there where that girl is laying on top of, I wanted a bigger piece to put underneath the photo so that my letters could go on top of it, because again, this paper is so busy, but I really wanted to be able to see my title. And I have the big thickers for girl, but the other ones are little thin, tiny alphabets, and so they were going to be really hard to see. So I did a couple of different things. I have a tag punch, or actually it's a label punch, the one that's from EK Success that has the 3 different sizes. And I punched it, and you can see it up at the very top of the screen there. But it wasn't quite big enough. So I took one of my 3x4 cards and cut the size that I wanted, and then took my circle punch and just punched the 4 corners so that it would look like a ticket. And then I tried it, and it still wasn't quite what I wanted, so I took a pink piece of paper that I had, just a little scrap off to the side, and just matted it. And when I mat it, I could have took my circle punch and punched again so that it would, you know, mimic it like the one that you see up at the top. But I decided not to. I knew that it was going to be kind of iffy if I could get it matched up exactly, and so I just left it in a true rectangle without punching it, and I think it looks great, and it gives just a little bit more oomph and more pink. So I'm just building my title up on top of it. So the girl is a canvas type chipboard thicker that I've had forever, and it's one that's been used a lot, but I was able to get the word girl, and actually the G is actually a Q, but I decided, since the script was so kind of wonky looking, that when I put it all up there, it looked like a G to me. I felt like you could read it, that, you know, people would read girl, not quirl or whatever with a Q. So I went ahead and used it. I didn't have anything else that I could make a G out of. So make sure when you're working with some of your thickers that might be a little bit different font looking, see if you can have another letter, make the letter you want out of something that you already have on there. That's what I'm trying to say. So I thought it worked well. And then my title is going to be It's a Girl Thing. And it's going to go into my journaling as to why I'm screaming my head off here while my cousin is like, just get me out of here. I just don't even want to be in this photo. So I think it's funny. And the deal is, there's not another photo from this day. So they didn't get another photo where I wasn't screaming or before my cousin took off. It's just this photo, which my cousin's barely in the photo. His face is cut off, and then I'm in there with my mom trying to hold me up. So I think it's funny they didn't try to snap another one, or they didn't get one snapped before, but maybe they were waiting and then gave up and decided it wasn't going to happen. So here I'm working on the different clusters, and if you watch me, you know I just kind of pull different colors, different shapes into the different areas until I kind of get them spread out into the clusters that I want them to be before I start committing. So I have brads in each one of them. I have a little bit of black. I know I've said repeatedly throughout this series that I don't want a lot of black, but this bow down here is a chipboard piece from Maggie Holmes, and it's white with just a black outline. And then I had that black piece of washi tape. Now down at the bottom, I don't necessarily have black, but I have that really dark wood frame label that goes underneath the year. So to me, that's kind of my dark or my black. So I'm repeating that. I'm repeating brads. I'm repeating pink and all of those things. And then that little label that I had created for the top, for the bottom for my title that ended up too small, I decided to go ahead and put it up here at the top of the photo because I had these little cloud stickers I wanted to try to use. I have a pink one and a blue one, but they were just getting lost on that busy patterned paper. So by doing that little label up there, it helps see that. It brings the pink up to the top of the photo. So I felt like that framed the photo at that point fairly well. And then I have this little phrase sticker here, and it says, perfect just the way you are. And I really wanted to get it on here. And you see me moving it around, and I don't like it here because it creates that little trapped space in between the label and the word sticker. And I put it up underneath the trim going across, which it would have worked there, but I felt like it messed up the flow of the title because it would read, it's a girl, perfect just the way you are thing. You'd come back down because that's just how our eye travels, because that's the way we read. So I put it back down here at the bottom, and I'm going to live with it for a moment until I figure out, because I really don't want it up at the top. I want it where it's at, but I need to work with it. So while it's sitting there, I finished putting my brads, and I have that little bird I put on there, which I love that bird, and I may go back because I add something else in here. But I like, when I look at this, I really, really like it. So I may end up taking the piece off that I changed the bird and stuff for. I don't know. I don't know why I've had such a hard time with this series of not being completely happy. And I think it's because the photos are so priceless. So here you see where I took the bird away and I put that little canvas printed piece there with that little girl. And it's because I really wanted to use that on a layout. Because I know I'm not really going to have a lot of opportunities to use that. So I don't know. I like it. It may stay here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my brads and things down right now. And normally I cut the prongs off and then just glue them on. But for this layout, I went ahead and poked holes. I'm getting a little bit braver doing that too, but I hate poking holes in my layouts. So you see at the bottom what I did with that little word or that phrase sticker. I ended up cutting it apart so I could create a little box. So that whole title, you could draw a line around and create a box around that whole title now, and it all reads in a straight line and a flow. So I'm much happier with it now. My last final little touch is to pull a little bit more yellow into the clusters. So I have a yellow button up at the top, and I'm going to run some thread through it. I haven't done it yet. And then I have some small little yellow button brads, and I put one of those off into the left side. And then I already had the brad on the bottom right. So here's a look at the final layout. I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to subscribe, and I would love to see your layouts if you're creating along with Janet's 4for4. So have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye.